We have some breaking news from the NHL. We have a lot of NHL waiver wire activity to discuss this afternoon, including a veteran like Brandon Saad on waivers. Plus, there's 3 other players on waivers, 2 of which are looking for contract termination. We'll discuss all the latest waiver wire news coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have lots to discuss from the NHL waiver wire this afternoon. We have the big news that the St. Louis Blues have placed veteran forward Brandon Saad on waivers. Now, he does have a no-trade clause, but he does not have a no-move clause. The no-move clause, of course, covers trade activity as well as being put on waivers with the ability to be sent down to the minors. So clearly, we've heard rumors, we've reported and discussed it here on the channel, I want to say at least a couple of times in the last 4 to 6 weeks, 7 weeks or so, that the Blues were attempting to trade Brandon Saad. He has this year and 1 more year left on his contract with a cap hit of $4.5 million. He's certainly having a down season. He can still skate well. There's no doubt there. But the production just is not coming, and they certainly want to give more of a younger player like an Alex Texier, for example, more opportunity to be a regular in the Blues lineup. If Saad is not picked up, he could certainly be sent down to the minors. It's not 100% clear. I don't think for sure that he's going down if he clears, but wouldn't be shocking if he's picked up. I mean, yes, he's on a down year, but there's certainly teams out there that would like a scoring winger, and he's been that throughout most of his career. Yes, he's not having a great time right now producing, but maybe a fresh start is all he needs. So far this year, he's put up a grand total of 7 goals and 16 points in 43 games. 32-year-old, like I said, has this year and 1 more year. And next year, the final year of the current contract, $4.5 million cap hit, but its cash payout is only 3.6. So it's one of those scenarios where the cash is less than the cap hit. So could be an intriguing option for teams looking for depth scoring. The second year in the contract, though, might be the deterrent. Sometimes teams are more willing to take a chance on players if they're only signed for the current year. So that might be what's holding things back on a trade, too. We know Doug Armstrong and the Blues have been trying, and they've not been successful. So, you know what? Sometimes we see cases of teams willing to make a move if the player clears waivers, and I get that question in the comments a lot, like, well, if a team could have taken him on waivers where they didn't have to give up assets to get him, why would they then wait to let him clear and then trade for him? And it's because teams that are interested in taking him would need to move an asset themselves. So they need something to go back the other way to make it justifiable, or even, to work cap-wise. So in that scenario, the other team wants to have the option to be able to put him in the minors if it's not working out, because you can go back and forth between the NHL and AHL. If you clear waivers, if you play 10 games or are up for 30 days, you would need to clear waivers again to be sent down. So obviously it just creates a little bit more flexibility for teams to be able to put him in the minors without going through this process yet again. So we'll find out tomorrow afternoon if Brandon Saad is indeed picked up. I know there's some teams that come to mind, like, Boston is a prime team, kind of in that playoff hunt. And, standings-wise, things might not look too bad, but they do have more games played than the other teams around them, like Tampa and Ottawa, Montreal. So, the Bruins have had not great depth scoring. They could use some help there. Maybe that's a landing spot for him. That's just something that comes to mind, but we'll find out tomorrow afternoon. We also have Cole Reinhardt on waivers with the Ottawa Senators today. Of course, Reinhardt is actually a pending Group 6 UFA at the end of the year if he doesn't get enough games played in. He's appeared in 12 games this year with the Senators, scoring 1 goal and 1 assist. He had 1 game last year as well, so he's a ways off from getting that Group 6 status to change to RFA status. So when younger players like that don't get a lot of NHL opportunities, they can become RFAs or UFAs, a little bit sooner if they don't get the NHL opportunity. So Reinhardt is 24, soon to be 25 years old, completed his rookie contract, signed his second contract, which is set to expire at season's end. I know the Sens have liked his game. I don't think this is so much about Cole Reinhardt as it is making room on the roster and going through some cap gymnastics to activate Linus Ullmark, who had to go to long-term injury reserve so that they could activate other players. Linus Ullmark has been out for just over a month. The belief is when they play on Thursday against Washington, he will be ready to play. So they're trying to make some adjustments here so that they can financially have the room and capacity to activate Omar. So don't be surprised if we even see another potential move in the coming days. They have some players that could also go onto LTIR as well that are out longer term and have already met the requirements or will soon before they're ready to come back, like Bernard Docker, Cousins, I think Gregor as well. So like they could free up some money that way too. So we'll see what happens with Cole Reinhardt. The Sens definitely would like to keep him, but they'd like to see him down playing in Belleville. And I wouldn't be shocked if he gets another opportunity depending on how healthy the forward group is. But he's been a good player for the Sens for sure, and I think they would definitely have interest to retain him beyond the current season, even if he's not picked up. A couple of other players today on waivers. Now these guys are mutually with their teams agreed to terminate their contracts, but they do have to clear waivers first. So these are unconditional waivers for that purpose. We have Milos Kellerman from Utah and Marcus Silvergard, with the St. Louis Blues. Both of those players are looking for other opportunities that they want to go to, and the team has mutually agreed to let that happen. But of course, they got to go through this process to see if another team wants to pick them up and give them an opportunity first. 99.9% of the time, or actually might even 100%. On unconditional waivers, you never see them picked up, because if what happens is if they clear, they become an unrestricted free agent, and any team and any league would be eligible to speak to them about signing them. So it wouldn't make sense really to pick them up in pretty well any scenario in that front. Now, yesterday in the NHL waiver wire, we had the Buffalo Sabres placing veteran forward Nicolas Aube-Kubel. He in fact did clear as well, another fourth line type of player. It would be a similar player to Cole Reinhardt. So I would say that Reinhardt has a good chance to clear. Aube-Kubel cleared, so the Sabres can reassign him here today as well. But the big name, Brandon Saad, St. Louis Blues, been trying to trade him. They've kind of reached a bowling point where they are willing to do the waivers thing in order to give a roster spot to another player and give them an opportunity. So let me know down in the comments if you think Saad's going to get picked up. Where are some good landing spots for him? Like I said, I think the Bruins come to mind, but there's probably a few others out there as well. I know maybe Minnesota is another team to think of too. So we'll see what happens when we find out tomorrow. Let me know in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, of course, stay tuned. I'll be back a little bit later with another video recapping all of today's news and rumors from around the entire NHL. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.